Hello gamers and welcome back to the Armbar arcade. I'm Nay and today we're going to check out a retro classic in Road Rash. So for anyone who missed playing it the first time around, Road Rash is based on motorcycle racing with a twist. Players make their way through races, trying to knock opponents off their bikes and win the race. There's a few different courses we can choose from here. We're going to go for Pacific Coast for our first race, I think. So here we go, we're speeding up on our motorcycle. We've got a nice red one, everyone else seems to be on blue motorcycles for some reason. It's got a banging soundtrack, this game. Love the sound, so we can punch left and right, and I think we can also kick. Yeah, there we go, there's a kick. So as we go past people, the aim of the game is just to give them a little punt to keep them back, and eventually end up in first place. They've all got little names there at the side. We're coming up on Gunther, I think. German, Axel. See if we can knock Axel Rose off his bike. He'd deserve it, obviously. Take that, Axel. Oh, we seem to have crashed there. That wasn't intentional. Hit a taxi, and we've got to run to our bike, which is several miles away. Handy. There we go, we're back on our bike. Now we can get back going on the road. We've got plenty of time to catch back up to people. We are 15th at the moment. Yeah, cars are best avoided really on this kind of game, especially if you're on a bike. Probably not a good idea to be taking cars head on or at all. Got some clouds rolling by up there. It's a fairly nice looking game for the time. Kind of like Need for Speed the Run, you drive through lots of different looking parts of America and potentially other places, but I think it's all based in America actually. There was a cow. Cow's just gone past. Here's Officer O'Leary. Oh, O'Rourke, okay. I wanted to play this game because it's a classic that you can just pick up and enjoy really. Like there's not a lot of story or messing about that needs to be done. You can just jump straight into a couple of races and have fun with it as we go flying on our bike. It's not the first time we've had flying motorcycles on the channel, but that is probably the first time we've had a crash like that. Get on your bike. I wonder if you could run all the way to the finish line. I mean, you come last, but it could be possible to just run all the way to the... Hey, don't overtake me! So we're in 12th place now. I feel like we might need to redo this one if we're going to complete all the races. There we go, some good punches there. I think we got punched a little bit on the way in. Nice pass there. Didn't really get to hit him, but it's not all important in this game. I think in later versions of Road Rash they made taking out your opponents a little bit more important. There's Road Rash 2 and Road Rash 3D, which are equally decent games. There we go, we finished. We came 7th in the end. And there's a guy tumbling off his bike in front of us. There's a little password for the game. Apparently first is Viper. Assumedly the female wrestler, I guess. Maybe. So we're going to take a go at Sierra Nevada this time. Some advice from Natasha. Some of those jerks would rather fight than race. Watch yourself out there. Thanks for that, Natasha. It's nice to see that somebody still cares in this age of kicking each other off bikes. One feature I do like is kind of the real-time wing mirrors that are either side of the heads-up display. That's really nice. Because you can see who's behind you, and like, there's not a lot of games that update in real time until you get to sort of the modern console generations with wing mirrors, so it's nice to see that. Got another chance to punt Axel, and we do. Oh, yeah, driving on the roof of a taxi is ill-advised. So we're going to have to run over to our bike, which is here. Avoid the sign. Only lost a few places there going to get our bike, so hopefully we can get those back pretty quick. Good punch on Leicester there as we overtake another yellow car. I'm assuming they're taxis. I mean, there was nothing to say that they are, but surely there can't be that many yellow car owners on the road. You wouldn't have a yellow car unless you really had to. Give Rex a good punching. I think he came off his bike there. We can see on our wing mirrors he's fallen off. That's another good use of the wing mirrors actually, is to see when you've actually punched people off their bikes. There we go, we've got a police bike somewhere, but we seem to have come past all that. Coming into third place now. I'm not quite sure how long there is left in the race, but we could be looking at a first place finish here. Fly past Natasha, who gave us the advice of some jerks just want to fight on the road. I'm a jerk, sorry Natasha. And come through past Viper as well. She's tough, we don't want to mess with Viper. So yeah, I think we are going to win our first race here in Road Rash. It's nice when you don't have any opponents around you, because there's no fear of being hit by someone. Like the whole, the entirety of some races is just trying to avoid being knocked off your bike. Although, we nearly did it to ourselves there by going in the grass for too long. Could do with a little bit of excitement on this straight road towards the finish, but we are in first place. And we win. There we go. Our biker's very happy about that, apparently. Let's go for a desert track this time. Who's Biff? I've never seen Biff. What are you talking about, Slater? With your backwards baseball cap. You 90s man. Rude Boy. Let's knock Rude Boy off his bike for a start. Come on, Rude Boy. Don't come away from me, Rude Boy. There we go. We've done something to Rude Boy at least. Got Gunther ahead of us. He's alright. Well, he's not now, but he was alright. Yeah, this is more of a difference from the other courses. This is nice and deserty. We can see some cactuses and or cacti, to be precise, and some mountains there in the background. It's a classic little series, Road Rash. Really kind of just pick up and play, try and win the races, try and punt some people off their bikes. You know, it's a lot of fun, light-hearted. Unless you try it in real life, in which case it is assault. So don't be doing that. But if you're just playing the games, it's light-hearted and good fun. Now I remember Road Rash 3D on the PlayStation isn't all that, but Road Rash 2 on the Mega Drive is also worth playing. Might check that out some other time. I really felt like Road Rash 1 just for the classic tunes and the simplicity of it all, because I think Road Rash 2 added more of a career sort of idea to it, so you had to win all the races and that sort of thing to progress. I just felt like some no pressure racing through the desert and the hills. I feel this is kind of like a Sunday game, you know, like a relaxing game you can just play on a Sunday evening or afternoon when you've got nothing else to do. Coming up on Rex as we go up and down these bumps. It's been difficult to cut through the crowd so far. There's not really been much way of gaining speed. Oh, we've got a truncheon. That's going to help. Take that, Slater. Is that Slater from Moss and Slater? Maybe too many wrestling references in this video now, but wrestling fans will appreciate them. See you later, Shiva. Just Natasha and Viper to go. We'll leave them alone because we've missed them entirely. We're doing rather well actually. I didn't expect us to be winning the races like we are, but it handles really nicely. It feels a bit better than Outrun in terms of scrolling. You do feel more like you're driving along the road than Outrun feels like the road is coming towards you. And obviously with the element of having to avoid and hit other bikers, it's got a new element of fun compared to Outrun. Although, we have just hit a car, so that's not great. Oh, run and get your bike. Why is it so far down the road? Why was this a mechanic? Why was this a gameplay mechanic? Oh yes, if you fall off your bike, you'll have to run down the road and get it. You won't just auto-reset. That's old games for you. They're like, no, he wouldn't teleport to his bike. He'll have to go and get it. Which means we're not going to win this race, unfortunately. But we can still hit some fools. I assume they had to get back on their bikes after we knocked them off. So, I feel newfound sympathy for them. See you later, Sheila. And I think this is the finish, so third's not bad unless you get killed, and then I guess it doesn't really matter. Biff says he's a sportsman. Well, I'm still going to punch you in the face, Biff, because your face looks very punchable in the avatar. Oh, some tense music for this stage as well. It's almost like they know the pressure is on. Take that, Gunther. This is kind of a foresty green stage. I like it. It's different enough from the other stages that it's fun to drive through, and they don't all have the same music, so you can at least just jam out to the music if nothing else. Now we're not doing too badly here at all. We're in 11th place. We've got 3 guys up ahead of us, so we could be in 8th if we can pass them all. And we can pass them all, very nice. It's the intersections you sort of have to watch out for, because there's cars that come across those, and if you just slam straight into a car, it can mean your bike's a couple of miles down the road and you have to go and get it, which isn't ideal. I'm hoping we can get another one of those like truncheons or whatever we stole off the officer. That was decent for getting people off their bikes, otherwise punches and kicks are a little bit less effective. There's a couple of rivals. We got Rex and, well, we've gone over Rex, so that's fine. Here's Lester. Hello, Lester. See you later, Lester. Coming up on the front of the pack now, there's Biff. Kickable Biff. He's got a truncheon, so we've got to be careful of Biff. Don't want to mess with Biff at the moment. He said he's a sportsman, but I just don't trust him. He's one of those faces that just says, I am lying to you. Get out my way, Slater. There we go. And sirens almost immediately in our ears there. As we come through to take 2nd place, take it off Viper. That's it, go away Viper. That's it, that's better. So I'm assuming Natasha's in first then. We can get anywhere near her before the race ends. Can hear some sirens in the distance, hopefully they're not catching up with us quite yet for assault. A lot of assault charges really for punching people off motorbikes. Potentially dangerous driving as well, you know, should have 2 hands on the handlebars at all times. Especially on these sporty bikes, like they go pretty fast, you know. Speedometer says we're doing about 120 somethings per hour. Assuming kilometres, because in these games they sort of used to regionalise it, and Europe uses kilometres even if England uses miles. Anyway, we've come first there, so that's good. So the final track is Grass Valley. I don't know if we've done well enough to advance to level 2, but we'll have to see once we win this race. Slater reckons he was loose, and he saw his eyes flash before him as we punched him off his bike. This one seems to be set in the plains, which is kind of valleys, I suppose. It's nice to revisit the places we saw in Need for Speed The Run in 16 glorious bits. Gonna knock Sid off. We haven't really had Nope, we're not going to knock Sid off. Yeah, good punch on Axel there. Weirdly, he's spelt like the car Axel rather than like Axl Rose. See if we can still... Yes, there we go. We've stolen the truncheon and almost immediately died. So, some good stuff, some bad stuff. There's enough time to get back into the race, and we still have our truncheon, so that's good. Could be a nightstick, but it looks more like a kind of bludgeoning... Maybe it's a baseball bat, I don't know. It's not really mentioned as to quite what it is within the game. There's Sid. Let's get him. Come here, Sid. There we go, Sid's gone. We sort of rode over his bike and corpse, but that's fine. It's allowed in this game. And we're going to get Axel as well. Some big jumps there as well. Huge jump into 8th place. Coming up behind Leicester now. Leicester can take a beating. Didn't come off his bike though. He's got a good chin. There's a police officer. Best way to deal with them is just give them a bashing, I guess. So we've got a little way to go. We're still in 7th place. We're coming up on Biff, who needs teaching a lesson. There we go. He's learned his lesson now. We've got Rex. He's going a little bit too fast to hit, but we got him. As he disappears into our wing mirrors. Very nice. Slater, who reckons he had a bad race last time. Well, you're going to have a bad race this time, mate. Concussions don't often help people win races. There's Shiva. Again, tumbling off into the distance. Just Natasha and Viper left, but we couldn't quite overtake them before the finish, so that's another 3rd place. Now, having redone the race we came 7th in, we've made it to level 2. Which is all the same tracks again, but just harder. So that's basically all the content there is in Road Rash. It's a cool little game. I enjoy playing it every now and then. It's got a great sequel, which maybe we'll get to look at another time. But until then, this has been Road Rash. If you like this video, leave a like. Subscribe if you're new here in the Armbar arcade. Leave in the comments your favourite little games that are short but you just love coming back to for a little play every now and then. And I'll see you next time on the Armbar arcade.